and give you the heads up. This is a crazy video idea. And for a crazy video about princesses, your girl is gonna need a tiara. So as you know, here on the Glitter M channel, I like all things girly and nostalgia. Here is a photo of me as a kid dressed as a princess. I love princesses. And as I got older, I grew into loving magical girls. So I had a crazy idea one day. What would some of my favorite magical girls' favorite princess be from Disney? And so my 3 a.m. idea turned into a Google Doc, and I tried to figure out which princess could logically go with a magical girl. Now, not all of the magical girls are your typical Japanese anime magical girls. I have a lot of different magical girls on this list. Some are also Western. And so I just tried my best to try to worm together what princess could logically go with what magical girl. And I will say some of these are definitely, take it with a grain of salt. I tried my best to pair them up, but again, take it with a grain of salt. But let's go ahead and get into the video. And I feel like for funsies, I'm gonna use a magical girl wand as a pointer. And so speaking of magical girl wands, we need to talk about the owner of this one, aka the moon herself, Sailor Moon. So for Sailor Moon, we all know the iconic long blonde hair. So I personally think that Rapunzel would be a great choice for Sailor Moon or Usagi Tsukino. Now, I don't say that just because of the hair, but I mean, come on. It's pretty perfect. I mean, they could cosplay each other and it would go so perfectly, especially with that one scene in Crystal where her hair is just so long and vibrant and glowing. Are we on the same page? Hopefully. But they also both have a crazy dynamic where they're both so carefree. Now, I do think Rapunzel is a little bit more on the mature side than Usagi is, as she's a little bit older. But I do think that they both have this very carefree sense of childhood wonder. Rapunzel wants to see the lanterns, and you see when she first touches the grass, she is kind of bewildered at how fun it is. She's swinging around with her hair, she's having fun. And we know Usagi is our lover of sweets and all things cutesy and girly and kitty, and I just think that they would get along really well. So this one is also a little bit of a hear me out, and I will go ahead and preference by this list saying that not every character on this list is technically a Disney princess by the official standards of Disney princesses, but in my heart, they're Disney princesses. One is also a former princess. Spoilers? Again, this is a hear me out, but for Madoka from Madoka Magica, I am going to assign Asha from Disney's Wish. Now, this might seem a little bit weird, but my basis here is these are two characters who are strong-willed characters. They have goals, they have wants that they want to fulfill, they have dreams to fulfill, but they just always feel like they're too weak. We see with Madoka's character that she is a super powerful character, but she just doesn't feel like she is. She feels like everyone is so much better and cooler than she is. And then with Asha, we see that she wants to learn, she wants to be a part of this magic council with the king, and she gets rejected. So there's definitely a little bit of a complex there where she feels like she could do more, but she also feels disappointed that she can't. So again, this might be a little bit of a stretch, but I really wanted to include these two characters, and it was really hard picking one for Madoka, so cut me some slack, or tell me in the comments who would you pair Madoka with. And next up on the list, we have Amu from Shugocharo. Now, if you know anything about Amu, she is a little bit rebellious. She looks like the cool kid, but in reality, she loves cutesy things. She doesn't necessarily act the way that she dresses, but she does come off as a little bit of a rebel. And so for that, I'm assigning her Merida from Brave, because we know Merida is one of the OG rebels. She don't need a man. She is just trying to live her life, honestly. She just wants to keep up with her hobbies and be herself. She's a kid, and she just doesn't feel like she wants to get married right now. You know, that's not on the cards. So I definitely feel like they have this shared sense of a rebellious spirit. Next up, we have Ichigo from the Mew Mew series, from Tokyo Mew Mew. So I actually put her with Anna from Frozen. Now, the reason I put her with Anna is because Ichigo is very chatty, and at times, especially when Mint is involved, she tends to get a little bit hot-headed. And yes, she's also pretty jealous, as we see in the series, but I do feel like it works pretty well with Anna, as Anna also can be a dreamer. She's also very chatty, and I do think that they would get along. And genuinely, they're just good people. They're good people, but I feel like they tend to put their trust in people that they shouldn't. You see where I'm going with this one? Okay, I hope you're ready for another stretch, because for this one, I had to put in one of my all-time favorite magical girls that no one ever talks about, and I'm gonna do a series eventually about it, which is Wedding Peach. I adore Wedding Peach. I can't stop talking about this series. I love this series. So we need to talk about Momo, or Momoka. Now, for Momoka, I actually went with a character that was originally a part of the Disney Princess lineup, but was later then removed from said lineup, which is Tinkerbell, which actually I never knew that Tinkerbell was classified as a princess because she never necessarily gave me those vibes, but again, when I say princess in this video, take that with a grain of salt. They both have very short tempers, and they tend to get kind of angry and jealous, as we see both in the Wedding Peach anime and also in the Peter Pan movie, where Tinkerbell gets very jealous. So I just think they're two very cute characters who tend to let their jealousy run a bit rampant. Next up, we have Sakura from Cardcaptor Sakura, who I have paired with Snow White. And if you know anything about these two characters, they are absolutely the epitome of a princess. They are so kind and gentle, warm and caring. They would never hurt a fly. Yes, Sakura, being a kid, does have moments where she gets a little bit bratty, a little bit jealous, but she has a very warm, kind heart, just like how Snow White does. So I genuinely feel like these two match up pretty well. For this next one, I gotta go get my backpack. I'm back. Now, this one is a bit of a self-indulgent one because technically, like I said, this list is for all magical girls, so again, this is a self-indulgent one, but this girl comes with me everywhere, which is Valerie, or Magical Warrior Diamond Heart. And so since I feel like Val is a little bit on the low-key side, if you don't know, she is from the game Magical Warrior Dreamheart, which we have also been playing a lot over here on our VTuber side on the gaming channel. So if you want to check it out, come and hang out and chat and watch some cool magical girl stuff. But for Valerie, I went with Tiana, because if you don't know, Valerie's parents in the game are bakers. She lives in a bakery and she loves all things sweet. Now, does that completely fit with Tiana? No, but we do know that Tiana is a masterful cook, so I do feel like these two kind of coincide with each other. Now again, some of these characters and their personalities aren't going to fully align, so I'm kind of trying to squeeze this together because Tiana is a very hard worker, and let's just say Valerie tends to slack a lot, but let's just focus on the cooking. Let's focus on the cooking. It fits, right? Right? Again, I'm trying to squeeze as many princesses and magical girls in this list, so you're gonna have to work with me. Okay, but this new one I do think actually fits pretty well, which is Cure Happy and Belle from Beauty and the Beast. So we know in Smile Precure, the entire season is based off of fairy tales. Some of the big bads of the series are like fairy tale creatures. We see the books a lot. We see a lot of fairy tale references. And again, we see a lot of books being read. And so I think it fits very well with Belle, who is known to be a big fan of storybooks and reading stories with happy endings. So I just feel like they could definitely work together. I feel like Belle and Miyuki would definitely exchange like favorite fantasy stories. Again, a little bit of a stretch as well, but I'm gonna say Doremi with Mulan, because both of the characters at times can be perceived as troublesome by their peers, as Doremi tends to get herself in a lot of trouble anyway, and with Mulan, we see that her family tend to think that she's almost troublesome because she, intervenes a lot with her father, trying to get him to not go to war, and I definitely feel like, again, a little bit of a stretch, but let's just take that stubbornness and, put it together for this one. Now, this next one is also one of my personal Western favorite magical girls, and I know a lot of people have issues with the series, but it is a nostalgic one for me because I actually grew up watching this one on Disney DXD. I know, crazy. How many of you remember those days? Next, we have Star Butterfly. I love Star Butterfly. She is one of my all-time favorite characters. She is a crazy magical girl because she doesn't necessarily fit what I feel like a magical girl personality would be. Star is crazy, ambitious, but she's also a fighter. She's not timid, she's not scared of her magic. She yearns to take that wand and just boop, narwhal blast. Like, girl is insane, and I feel like her adventurous spirit and honestly untamable spirit feels very, very reminiscent of Jasmine's own spirit. Jasmine will not be held down. She will change the law. Like, girl is very ambitious. This is another hear me out. These two do not have the same personality whatsoever, but again, vibe with me on this one. I'm gonna give Ladybug or Marinette Cinderella. And the only reason that I am giving Marinette Cinderella is because, one, there is both scenes where they both sew and they make dresses, and there's fashion, and there's a ball. This one was really hard. I had a really hard time with Cinderella, but I'm gonna go with Marinette. Just off of aesthetics. Next, I have another one that I wanted to squeeze in, which is Aika from I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl. Now, if you don't know, this is kind of a newer series, and from what I last saw, there was a pilot episode. So basically, Aika's whole character is they don't like being a magical girl, and they tend to get very, let's just say for the sake of the video, drowsy, almost sleepy. I'm trying, okay, I'm trying. Basically, they're very unenthusiastic whenever they transform into a magical girl. So I'm going with that kind of unenthusiasm as sleepy and pairing it with Aurora. Because, nobody wants to be cursed to sleep from. Actually, that sounds kind of good. Okay, this one was one, I actually have not even seen this movie yet, so maybe this is the telltale sign for me that it's time to watch the movie, but I am going to assign Bloom from Winx with Raya from the Disney movie. Now, I didn't realize how perfect this kind of lines up because they both have dragons. They both have dragons. Both characters are involved with dragons. I'm mainly keying this off of the dragons. So for this next character in the princess, there's actually a couple characters that I could pair instead for one simple physical feature. That being mermaid. For Ariel, I am giving Lucia from Mermaid Melody Peachy Peachy Pitch. And the reason is because, again, mermaids. Okay, now this last one was actually crazy when I was trying to do some research for characters on this video. So I am going to give Bloom from the Powerpuff Girls, Elsa from Frozen, because of one specific trait that they can both do, which is use the power of ice, which is actually something that I low-key forgot about, but Bloom actually has ice breath, and we know Elsa's over here building a whole real estate out of ice. And also, both of them are considered to be the mature sister. And so this is my list. Now, there are so many other magical girls that I could have put on this list, but again, I really tried my best to intertwine a princess with a magical girl. Now, of course, again, as I said, some of these don't 100% fit together, but I tried my best. I tried my best to give a wide array of magical girls and Disney characters that aren't all necessarily princesses, but I'm gonna go with it anyway. Sue me. But I would actually love to know who you think pairs well together, Princess and Magical Girl edition. Now, if you want to add a different Magical Girl with a different princess, then do let me know in the comments what is your reasoning. And if you agree or don't agree with some of my list, do let me know. Again, I was trying my best to give at least one character, one princess, and not use the same characters over and over. But let me know your pairings down below in the comments. And as a lot of you have probably seen, it is a very trying time over here on YouTube. So if you would like to help support the channel, then maybe consider becoming a Glitter Sakura. Once we get a couple of members, maybe some fun doors will be opening soon for memberships. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!